Hello and welcome everyone to the daily news analysis of 10th of February 2024। तो आज के इम्पोर्टेंट आर्टिकल हिंदी न्यूज पेपर से वन बाय वन डिस्कस कर लेते हैं। पहले तो स्वामीनाथन राव चरण सिंह टू गेट भारत रत्न, प्रूडेंस प्रिवेल्स, फ्यूगिटिव विल बी extradited, says finance minister। Sorry। Rajya Sabha passes bills to add Pahadis Valmikis to SC/STs list in Jammu and Kashmir. Cabinet nod to spectrum for railways without a try reply. Then India-Saudi joint military exercise ends. Then US-China tussle warships in Indian Ocean dominate IOC conference. तो चलिए डिटेल में वन बाय वन देखते हैं। The Bharat Ratna will be conferred on former Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao and Chaudhary Charan Singh, as well as Green Revolution pioneer M.S. Swaminathan, adding to the two awardees already announced earlier this year, Socialist leader Kapuri Thakur and former Deputy Prime Minister L.K. Advani. A Rashtrapati Bhavan communique made the announcement on Friday with Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauding his late predecessors, the Congress PM Rao's liberalization policies and Janata Party PM Singh's championing of the farmers' cause, as well as the late agriculture scientist Swaminathan services in the field this year. This year's tally of five Bharat Ratna awardees, one more than four announced in 1999, is the highest that has ever been announced in a single year. Four of the five awards announced this year are posthumous. Congress leader Sonia Gandhi and party president Mallikarjun Kharge both welcomed the announcement on the behalf of Indian National Congress. We welcome the Bharat Ratna becoming conferred to C.P.V. Narasimha Rao, Chaudhary Charan Singh and Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. Former Prime Minister and former Congress President Sri P.V. Narasimha Rao has tremendously contributed to nation building, Mr. Kharge said in a post on X. The Congress president added that under Rao's government, India embarked on a transformative journey with a series of economic reforms that played a pivotal role in shaping the middle class for generations to come. Asked about the Bharat Ratna announcement, specifically the award for Rao, Mrs. Gandhi said, I welcome them, why not? Rao's grandson P.V. Subhas also welcomed the honor. I feel very emotional because we had been expecting that the recognition will be delayed. Farmers leader Jat and farm leader Singh, who served as a between 1979 and 80 at the fag end of the India's first non-Congress government, has been given the award at a time when the ruling BJP is negotiating with his grandson, Rashtriya Lok Dal, RLD Chief Chaudhary Jayan Singh for an alliance in the upcoming general election. Be it as an MLA and as Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister or the country's Home Minister, he always speeded up the nation building exercise and also stood strongly against the emergency, saying dedication to farmers and commitment to democracy during the emergency inspires the country, the PM said. Swaminathan's pioneering role. With regard to Swaminathan, Mr. Singh, sorry. With regard to Swaminathan, Mr. Modi said that he had played a pivotal role in helping India achieve self-reliance in agriculture during challenging times and made outstanding efforts towards modernizing Indian agriculture. We also recognize his invaluable work as an innovator and a mentor and encouraging learnings and research among several students. Then next article, prudence prevails. The RBI's Monetary Policy Committee (MPC) has prudently opted to persist with its objective of ensuring that inflation progressively aligns to target by keeping benchmark interest rates unchanged and sticking with its stance of withdrawal of accommodation. With a 5-1 majority, it has committed to keeping monetary policy on ambitiously disinflationary so as to anchor inflation sorry, expectations, especially at a time when large and repetitive price shocks are interrupting the pace of disinflation on the rational to leave the repo rate unchanged at 6.5% for a sixth straight meeting. Governor Shaktikan Das observed that while domestic economic momentum remained strong, uncertainties in food prices continued to impinge on the headline inflation trajectory. The tangible risk that food prices pressures could become more generalized and impact broader health. Headline inflation was the main consideration. He explained that the majority of the MPC was aligned in the prioritizing in battle against inflation need to be seen in the backdrop of recent trends in retail inflation. Headline retail inflation, which had eased from July's 15-month peak of 7.4% to 4.87% in October, however, rebounded to a 4-month high of 5.69% in December, with food price gains gauged by the consumer food price index racing ahead of to 9.53%, a sizable 292.2 basis point faster than October 6.61%. That the uncertainty surrounded food prices gains began to vex policymaker and is reflected in a recent RBI bulletin article that pointedly sought to find an answer to the question: are the food prices the true core of India's inflation, concluding that there is enough empirical evidence to support an assertion that there are times when food inflation mimics core inflation. The officials cautions that given food substantial share in the consumption basket, large and repeated food prices shocks has the potential to ripple outward and undermine the goal of price stability by de-anchoring inflation expectations. The MPC's downward revision of its projection for average retail inflation in the January-March quarter of to 5.0%, 20 basis points lower than its December forecast, reflects the small small comfort policymakers have taken from the improvement in Rabi sowing as well as a seasonal correction in vegetable prices. Still, the Department of Consumer Affairs daily price monitoring dashboard shows the average retail price of more than two-thirds of the key food items it tracks remained higher on a year-on-year basis as on February 8. Policymakers need to stay steadfast in their resolve to durably slow price gains towards the 4% target or risk dampening consumption and thereby undermining the growth momentum. Fugitive will be extradited, says Finance Minister. Fugitive economic offenders like Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi, and Sanjay Bhandari will be extradited into India, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said on Friday, even as she charged for former Congress chief Sonia Gandhi of being a super prime minister in the Progressive Alliance years, blaming ruder, rudderless leadership for the one big ticket scam a year decade between the 2004 to 14. Speaking on the white paper on the economy in Lok Sabha, the minister said it was a serious document tabled with the responsibility as it impacted the lives of people and shall serve as a record for prosperity. Entire India's youth should know that what effort it took for a prime minister with a vision to restore India to its glory, Mrs. Sitharaman said, comparing the Commonwealth Games flop show to the grand success of G20 events. In her opening remarks, she went beyond the UPA decade to remind the House about the LIC of India being forced to invest in an allying West Bengal farm run by Haridas Mundra in 1950s, which culminated in the then Finance Minister T. T. Krishnamachari's resignation as a sacrificial lamb. Stressing that national security was compromised in the UPA years, she said the environment had become a bottleneck for Project Clearness, clearance, hurting development, and the leadership of the day failed the country. Terming the National Advisory Council (NAC) headed by MS Gandhi, Mrs. Gandhi as an extra constitutional body votes than a kitchen cabinet. The minister asked why 710 government files were sent to the NAC office. Jayanti tax. Andolane जीवी, a person who makes a living through protest and Bhrashtacharjivee, a person who survives on corruption. Bhrashtacharjivee gave birth to a Jayanti task. Permits Raj license permit Raj was brought back through the environment tax, she said, pointing to a rise in average time taken for green clearance from 86 days in 2011 to 316 days in 2014. This has now come to 70 days, she added. With this government balancing development and environment needs, stating that enforcement directorate was told to keep quiet to facilitate money laundering during the UPA years and kept like a caged bird. She noted that just 102 prosecutions took place then compared to 1200 since 2014. Zero persons were convicted in their tenure while the number is 58. In our watch, she said, attributing it to the ED being given the independence to stop money laundering. We have got extradition order passed in 4 cases or fugitive economic offenders and are extraditing them, she said, not noting that 12 people had been labeled fugitive economic offender under their watch, while the number of such extradition was zero during the UPA years. The next thin article है Rajya Sabha passes bill to add Pahadis Valmikis to ST and SC list in Jammu and Kashmir, India, Saudi Arabia. Joint military exercise ends, then cabinet note to spectrum for railway without try reply. Amid ongoing protest in the Jammu and Kashmir by the scheduled tribe Gujar Bakarwal community, the Rajya Sabha on Friday cleared the way for the addition of Pahadi ethnic group to the territories ST list. Along with it, the upper house passed the bill that added the Pahadi tribe, Gada, Brahmin, and Koli communities to the ST list and Valmiki community, including synonyms to the scheduled caste list of Jammu and Kashmir. During his reply to the discussion on the bill, Union Tribal Affairs Minister Arjun Mundra addressed the concerns of the existing ST communities in Jammu and Kashmir, like the Gujar Bakarwal and the Gadi communities. He said this bill will ensure that the reserves are already available for these existing tribes will be maintained while giving these new communities additional reserves on the work of ensuring that everyone gets justice and no community's reservation is affected is being done through this bill. No dilution. And given the growing protest in Gujar and Bakarwal, the BJP has stated percolated percolating this message on the ground as well. The ST quota of Gujar and Bakrwal will remain unaffected and there would be no dilution in the same. Jammu and Kashmir BJP President Ravinder Raina said. Then India Saudi Arabia joint military exercise and the maiden joint military exercise Sadda Tangsik between the Indian Army and the Royal Saudi Land Force concluded at Maharajan Field firing ranges in Jaipur on Friday. The 20-day experience exercise is seeming the 2012 days the 12-day exercise aimed to achieve interoperability between the two forces and acquaint each other with operational procedures and combat drills under the UN mandate. Column Amitabh Sharma, defense spokesperson, said in a statement the Indian contingent on the 20th Battalion of the Brigade of Guard Regiment and the Saudi Arabian contingent comprising a group of 45 soldiers of Royal Saudi Land Force participated in the exercise which was conducted in two phases. Cabinet node to spectrum for railway without a try reply. A day after the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India (TRAI) floated a consultation paper on whether Indian Railways should be able to get a largely free 5 GHz of wireless spectrum for carrying real-time data that would enhance passenger safety, the Union Cabinet, in a surprise move on Thursday, approved the proposal even though TRAI's response was pending. The railways had sought additional 5 MHz of paired spectrum free of charges in the 700 MHz band in July last year, a month after the Baleswar incident that left 296 dead and nearly 1200 injured. As per our understanding, the cabinet has decided to reserve this 5 MHz spectrum to keep it out of the auction, and it is not been allotted to the railways as of yet, a TRAI official told the Hindu. In past when the railways had received spectrum grants for which they only needed to pay an annual royalty without bidding for the airwaves, the data transfer capacity was not sufficient to allow trains to continuously upload video footage for safety purposes. The video feeds were instead dumped at railway stations with a Wi-Fi connection. The railway wrote to the Department of Telecommunications that it is important to capture large-scale data and videos from moving trains on a real-time basis. Dumping at a stopping stations which has high-capacity Wi-Fi shall not serve the objective. The railways observed. The railways further said that during the exigencies network of telecom services providers get choked, thereby adversely affecting relief and restoration operation because the railway was only granted 5 MHz of its original demand for 15 MHz. In discussions post Balasore tragedy, it had again asked for an additional 5 MHz of paired spectrum in the 700 MHz band. In the discussion with TRAI, Railways had said that it want additional spectrum for implementing several safety features such as the modern train control system, train collision avoidance system, signal aspect in loco cabs and emergency mobile communication. It had also highlighted other advantages that the spectrum allocation could bring, such as increased speed, augmenting trains running capacity, passenger security, CCTV network like live feed at security control centers, video surveillance, video analytics, and assessed reliability. In consultation with which is open for comments till March 6 and counter comments till March 20. TRAI is assessing whether additional spectrum should be assigned to railways and whether it will be sufficient to meet requirement of different rail network, and also what should be the spectrum valuations, and charging and methodologies. However, the Cellular Operator Association of India had in the past opposed free handout in the 700 MHz band, from which this spectrum has been set aside for the railways that is being used for commercial telecom operations around the world. The COAI said in a significant chunks of it had already been assigned to the Ministry of Defense. Further assignment to non-telecom use cases would leave the spectrum availability for technology like 5G grossly inadequate, the COAI argued.